Hello everyone. This is Ben here from Second Dynasty. Hopefully you can hear me alright. We are starting a live stream at an unusual time this week. Normally we do stream at least once a week on a Friday, but today, in about 29 minutes, we are going to launch our very first backer kit launch. Which is daunting. I'm nervous, excited. The platform itself, we've actually been using since 2017. It used to be what we've used for deliveries, and we've also used it to reach out to our past backers as well. So very exciting times, and I just thought we would gather here, get a little bit hyped. So shout out on the stream. Hang on a second. I'm worried that people are hearing my system sounds. Somewhere, something is playing. I don't think you guys can hear it, thankfully, but oh yeah, my stream was my stream was actually on
in Discord.
Yeah, no, it wasn't in Discord. It was I had the stream open in a different window. It's all good. Great. It's all coming through all right. So yeah, I just thought today we're going to talk about what we're about to present. It's something I've been working on for ages. I moved on from the last Traveller campaign several months ago, since I mostly focused on vehicles. The last one I did was the Korban, with a redundant "the." But still, I always start mid-sentence there, Doug Jeffrey. So, g'day to Shadow Liger, Doug, Tamsin, Jaren, Brian is here, Shergel is here, Tamsin is here, and yeah, it's great to see you guys. It's nice that you're here. And Alex, g'day. I think we will get things started up shortly with... John seems a bit confused by the fact that we started the stream already. Of course, in the background you might hear Albin. So if you hear any random noises, it's probably not me. Alex is Karinsky. Nice. Unusual time for us to stream as well. It is 5:33 p.m. here. We are supposed to be launching in 27 minutes, provided everything was correct. Considering the way that we've set things up. You can see here my Maya scene where we're going to have a look at some of the ships in more detail. I will warn you in advance, because unfortunately Hannes was not available to do the pitch film, just since he's double booked at the moment. I had to do it. So perhaps a little shittier, perhaps a little bit more rendered, and then of course as always, we could have used another 2 or 3 weeks to get the material a little bit better. I can't show off all of the ships because they're in the next room. I can show off some of them. Of course, I always have Albin to go and retrieve things for me, but he is also hard at work at the moment trying to make some add-on graphics. So the page is what it is. Hopefully, you guys will enjoy what we have to offer. Anyway, I think we should now just look at what I did prepare. So, here we go.
Hi, I'm Ben from Second Dynasty.
5 years ago, we launched Sleipnir, our love letter to fusion torch rocket ships, and since then, Sleipnir has become one of our most popular creations, with its modular design, stackable decks, and detailed interiors. Now, we are expanding the fleet with brand new ships for tabletops of all sizes. From the Valkyria to the Ratatosk patrol ship, the Mercurian gunship Fenrir, and the massive torpedo destroyer Nidhogg. Even Sleipnir is back with a complete overhaul. Built for tabletop gamers, these ships are printer-friendly, require no supports, and are packed with detail inside and out. Our ships are scaled for 28mm miniatures. With stackable decks, you can lift off each level and spread them out on the table, giving you and your players full overview of the action. Don't have a 3D printer? No problem. We'll print for you
but getting quick while slots last. And the fleet is just getting started. Unlock new weapons, ship variations, and maybe even an entirely new starship as we push beyond our funding goals. Command your Aesir Fleet today, only on BackerKit launch.
All right, so that was it. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Let me just, I think I might be peaking a little bit too much here with the volume. Let me just draw it down a few decibels so I'm not shouting. All right, what did you guys think of the trailer? Let's see. Launch is showing us 1 hour 23. What? Really? It's showing 1 hour and 23 minutes. That would be deeply depressing. I'm albaning. Oh no.
What?
Really?
Albany?
Because I count albaning as when you're just hearing me. I don't have audio issues right now, right? Just let me know, because when Doug says you're albaning, all I can think of is the time when he was streaming when I was on holidays, and it just became this loop of Alban. And then he's like, oh, I'm hearing a loop, so he turned it off his headphones and let everyone else enjoy it. Hearing the g'days again. What? From what, though? Is anyone else experiencing audio issues, or is it just Doug Jeffries? Okay, Tamsin has no audio issues. Do you have 2 copies open, perhaps, Doug? That could be the case. It could be going on in a different window.
Seems to be right here.
Yeah, I've got confirmation from Alban as well that there's nothing else coming through. I've only got my microphone turned on, so I would be very surprised. Okay, the whole 1 hour 21 minutes thing is a bit scary. I wonder if we can fix that real quick. Because it says, it's saying 6:30 PM CET. So maybe we can change that on the back end. Basics. I must have miscounted. What? Scheduled launch time 9 AM. That should be right, Pacific time. Let me change it to 8. Save. Alright, let's see what it says now. It probably just launched instead. It's still saying 6:30 PM. I'm a bit concerned about this, if I'm being honest. Because, yeah. Wait, what? Did it just launch accidentally?
What?
The launch stream starts 30 minutes after launch. What? It's showing us launch now. Oh, guys. Now it is launched. Bloody hell. God. So it was all lined up and the chat conned me into launching it accidentally early. Oh my god, guys. Well, get in there. Bloody hell. I was just gonna oh my god. Okay. Alright. It's been a very stressful week, if I'm being honest. I would not really like to count up how many hours I've worked, but I guess we're live. Let's tour some of the ships we're talking about. Okay, so a little bit of backstory, since I don't even know really where to track this thing yet. Oh my god. Let me just go to view project. Okay, alright, guys. Sorry about that. I guess we're live a little bit early. Yay for you guys. By the way, does anyone see like the bonus item that you're supposed to get? If it's turned up somewhere, let me know. So anyway, like I guess we're up and running. I'll explain the pledges in a little bit, but I just wanted to talk a little bit about the ship. So I'm going to pretend things are... I can't look at that screen anymore. I need to switch back to you guys. Where did you guys go? There you are in the chat. It was showing 1 hour early to me, even after I refreshed repeatedly. Great. So I just panicked, apparently, thinking that I had the wrong time. Thank you guys for backing already. I guess it's open. Go for it. Otherwise, yeah, geez, jumped the gun on that one. All right. So let me back up a little bit and try not to focus on this. Guys, I haven't had very much sleep lately, and I've been working right up until now and thought that we had like 20 minutes. I think even John's probably panicking at this point. Oh no, it was just, yeah, anyway. I gotta focus, sorry guys. The thing that got me going on this campaign is the next really big ship I want to work on is Persephone, but it is a big ship. It's going to take many months to do, and at the size we are at the moment, that's a bit tough. However, the idea was, oh, let's just make a new Expanse style ship, because we put out the Sleipnir last year for Second Dynasty Day for $22, and even throughout the year it continued to be our best-selling ship. And I thought, wow, there's really an interest here. And then, of course, I couldn't help but notice that the Expanse RPG did put out some miniatures in 28mm scale, and I was like, okay, let's give them some more ship variants to play with as well if they want to play at full 28mm scale. So here are the thing is, Sleipnir came out in 2020, and my skill in Maya and in 3D printing has increased tenfold since then, even though like Sleipnir was a much more solid ship than, say, you know, even Chimera, which was the campaign before then. Since then, you know, we've done a bunch of Traveller stuff. We've done the, you know, the Erebus, Shuttle Alpha, so many ships. In fact, when I was counting my STL files earlier, Second Dynasty has produced just shy of 15,000 STL files since we started in 2017. Which is insane. Guys, thank you so much for backing. I really appreciate it. And Sleipnir was a great ship to work on. I really enjoyed it. And it does seem to be quite popular even to today. And one of my favorite things about it actually is it's a lot easier to store than many of the other ships that we've built. In fact, we are running out of space in the offices at this point. Yes, the Expanse RPG Transport Union Edition is coming out too. I back that campaign. They are in our scale, which, you know, we're not actually jumping on the bandwagon here. We had this out in 2020. Obviously, the design language is very much, you know, it's made so that it could feel like it might fit into the Expanse universe, that you can drop it into your Expanse RPG game. But with the addition of the tactical miniatures, it really feels like, you know, it might be top of mind again for a lot of people. And I just love building these ships because they're quite nice. They stack up nicely, as you saw in the pitch film. And we started with the Valkyrie, which actually this model in particular is the old one. So this was the state it was in when I handed it off to Albin. And I guess the easiest way to just show you what's going on is to switch to a close-up camera and to show you what it currently looks like. So Valkyria, all the names are still Old Norse inspired, and I actually came up with a little bit of lore related to that, which I can talk about as well. Don't mind the Benjamins in the shelf. They're always there and they're always watching. But what I love in particular, and I've got to be really careful here because these aren't designed to be on their sides, is some of the detail, just from some simple sort of antenna, sort of the sensor masts there. Sorry, my hair always gets in focus rather than the model itself. We updated the RCS. We've put these really cool, like this really cool dish on the side, and the way that these are created are actually really clever, even if I do say so myself. Got your airlock down there. So this is sort of like, John called it the football, and I think that's a great nickname for it, actually. So in universe, it's nicknamed that as well. And when I say in universe, I just mean like, we're creating a little bit of lore. You can drop it into your game. But of course, you could use this for terrain. I can't show you the interior at the moment because this is just the prototype. It's only made for an exterior. The interior is planned out. But we do still have 5 or 6 weeks until the first production files are going to make it into your My Mini Factory accounts. If you are some of the... are I going to post this on the Expanse RPG Discord, or should we not do that due to licensing? I will not do it. Please share it for yourselves. Obviously, these use the same kind of technology. Obviously, the PDCs and everything about it is Expanse inspired. It is generic. In fact, it's called the Aesir Fleet because my in-universe lore is it's a Mercurian conglomerate made up of Scandinavian companies. Imagine if Bullforce just moved to Mercury and started building ships instead. And in fact, one of our early stretch goals, I kind of put like some Bofors style anti-aircraft guns instead, because they're meant to be 40 mil, right? So we do have some great variants. So the original Sleipnir has been completely gutted and rebuilt, and the chief difference is actually that back in the day, maybe I can even start a second copy of Maya. I don't know how well it will look, but may as well. So yeah, please do share it with the Expanse RPG Discord. I'd love that. I don't actually play it myself, but I have supported their campaigns. I'm not associated with the Expanse. It's not officially licensed. And believe me when I say I've used a design language similar to the Expanse. The ships themselves are fusion torches that work in the same way. They could easily fit in your Expanse game, but they are generic properties. They're not are not claiming the license in any way, shape, or form. The same way as many of our ships are designed to, work in that way. Now, I'm just very quickly going to load up this scene because I want to show you how these sensors work. You back the figures from the RPG campaign. Me too, Grana Prego? Grana Pre-Ego? I don't know. Sorry if I'm mispronouncing that. I guess it doesn't matter as much when it's just internet handles, but let me zoom in and get rid of all of this mess. This, by the way, is Autodesk Maya, and it crashed. Which is appropriate. So I don't think I'm going to try and do that again.
That's so fucking funny.
Yeah, it crashed, which is something that Maya does often. And also the reason why, for example, this scene does not have complete interiors for all the ships. I actually had a scene that was prepared and I managed to save over it. I'm going to have to go looking for it when it's not today. Wait, which one crashed? Yeah. So, I don't know why I bothered sending the report. I don't think they ever check it. I think it's just too much of a challenge with what my system is dealing with at the moment. But in any case, I can maybe show you guys after. So I'm not going to take the chances. My idea was to show you what the Sleipnir used to look like and show you what it looks like today. This is the Fenrir, which was based on our... When we made the Sleipnir, we also made a bunch of different parts that could make it look more like a particular piece of legitimate salvage. obviously, it's got 6 PDCs and I think the torpedo tubes are hidden. Yes, they are. Oh boy, did I just render out all this without the torpedo tubes on? I don't know. But they're supposed to be there. I think there's versions with them on in any case, so. Obviously, the design aesthetic is from that, inspired by that universe. Anyway, when we first built it, I was thinking modularity before anything else, and I think actually the best demonstrator of this is if I get into, provided Maya doesn't crash, again, if I get into, I think it's deck 8 here, and I isolate that, no, not deck 8, deck 9. Hello, deck 9. So this is the engineering bay. Actually, not that one. I had the right one. It was deck 8. Sorry. I'm very tired, guys. Yes, okay. So you can see here that these new... First of all, the floors now use what we call Grid Forge, which is a new system that John came up with. John is the guy that's also going to do the physical prints if you don't have a 3D printer. I think he set a limit to 100 units. We'll see how things go with that. Also, we don't want to push the physical too much at this point in time because it is US based, and if I'm being perfectly honest, a little bit unstable on the market right now, especially when we're in Sweden. I know my accent is not Swedish, but I assure you we are in Sweden. And that is also the reason why BackerKit, for example, uses Stripe. Stripe uses the local currency of our bank account, which is Swedish crowns, otherwise known as SEK, which is
Pretty sick.
short for Swedish krona. And yeah, that's why the numbers are roughly translated to US dollars. Now, that can go up and down depending on the day, obviously, and the more that the president says or doesn't say on things, the more those numbers can swing, I guess. So we don't want to make too big of a commitment at the moment to the physical stuff, because the other thing, too, is we don't know what the tariff situation will be like. Obviously, that's not something we necessarily pay, but you guys would, but we don't want any nasty surprises. But my point being... This is one wall I left in, and you can see they have these inserts, but this has wasted a whole bunch of floor space. And here we just have some, built-in flooring that just gives you a tiny little bit more space to use your miniatures with. You can kind of compare the left side to the right side there. Now, if I come a bit further up, to say, I want to say deck 5. Let's see, what do we got here? This is our mess. Oh yes, definitely expanse flavored there. But before, you couldn't actually get into these corners with a miniature because the issue was we had, these wall inserts the same way as you had in the cargo bay there. So even on the deck above now, let's go to deck 4, which is our med bay. You can see how much more room we have to play in. Anyone that owned a Sleipnir before knows that this was quite tight. And, I didn't know as much what I was doing. Of note, too, to mention is we've upgraded the PDCs and PDC housings immensely, so that now they are quite rigid, and the doors will close properly. When you fold out the PDCs, they should stay for the most part in the orientation they were in. Might be available later as physical prints. Yeah, there are physical prints of the Valkyria. That is available now. You can buy that. They will be delivered probably in Q4 of this year, and I think there is a full intention to allow upgrading those to any of these ships. they will be quite considerably, like they are quite pricey. Like the Valkyrie, I think, runs at about 1.1 to 1.2 kilos, and that's with John's optimizations. So they are more involved than you'd think. It is a 5-story ship still, 41 centimeters. And I think the price point for that was like 160, and if you wanted a Fenrir, I think you'd be looking at about $400. But that is a 95 centimeter long ship, over 3 feet. Crew figures available as what are they as a physical? I don't know that they're a physical add-on. The crew figures, I think they're just STLs. I really don't want to compete with the Expanse with the figures, so I think we're just keeping them as STLs. I haven't discussed it with John. This is a little bit, we obviously ran out of time. I would have liked a lot more time than what we had to work on this campaign. So, yeah, I mean, that kind of goes to show when, we've stuffed up and we've already... oh, that's weird. It doesn't refresh. Oh, okay. So I went to check the campaign, and it's like the version I was looking at was not live. So, anyway, yeah, let's get back to the stream. Where did the stream go? In any case, so the new interiors have grid forge. The printability has been increased to the point where there are no supports required for FDM printing. Resin printing, you'd be a madman to do the entire ship. It would be extremely heavy. You would have to use supports. It is technically possible, although some of the parts are large. This ship, I think, should print out on like an A1 Mini, so quite a small print area. You can see the grid forge tile system here. So all of these tiles can actually be customized, and some of this furniture, let me just group that. So for example, you could lift out this piece here, like so, and you could replace it with a different floor style or, add different furniture. So a lot of the ship is customizable. Some of it is, built in, and we're trying to figure out ways where possible to make it as customizable as possible. Deleted as you rechecked, and it doesn't say they are physical. I'm guessing their add-on is a single ship pledge, and they're included with the all-in. Yeah, we couldn't add add-ons into the all-in thing. They are, for the most part, the miniatures from Sleipnir. There are 7 new poses, which is the sleeping poses for all 7 crew. There were 5 originally. We added an additional 2 in stretch goals. So it's all of the human crew of the Sleipnir. Now, I would like to do some more, but we kind of run out of time preparing things before this campaign, so yeah. We'll look through it properly once things are going later. I can't believe I jumped the gun. Anyway, we do have a steady stream. By the way, Backer Kit is not the same as Kickstarter. They will be sending out emails, and they are doing marketing, so we'll see what happens. I haven't done a push yet with my social media, obviously, because I've been streaming with you guys. I'll be doing that soon. Although we have gotten, I think we're at something like 13 backers, 14, something like that. I don't know how often this refreshes. So, yeah, it's interesting to see how this will go. Obviously, Kickstarter is a different beast, but the Backer Kit crew did say, don't know what to expect because they don't normally do STL campaigns, but B, that it should be a bit more of a steady stream than what Kickstarter tends to be. So we'll see how things go. The Backer Kit crew have been great, and they were happy to have us along for their professional services, which was nice to get that support. So yeah, lots of detail. The Fenrir is basically, my old habit of saying basically, is the full sort of decks that it used to be, but they're now completely overhauled. They've converted to grid forge. There's more Actually, Albin, would you mind fetching the top 3 levels of Fenrir, like from the airlock level up. So I can show that on stream. I'm just gonna have a little drink here. With Hannes. Alrighty. So I started there with the modernization of Sleipnir and what has become the Fenrir. And then I started doing actually Nidhogg first, which is the large ship. It is 15 stories high. There are a couple of double stories. So, like for example, I would consider the very top of the ship to be... actually, in this ship, they are 2 separate stories. So 14 stories high. Engineering has a double high there, and then I think also technically the the cargo bay here is thank you. So I think there's some miniatures inside this. Let me switch cameras to the close-up, and I can show you guys some of the improvements. So this is the top of Sleipnir, which I love. I can show you guys how well the PDCs work now. I think it's in the film as well. If I can actually find the barrel here. So this just slots out, and as you can see, it's holding the pose. I had this tremendous problem with them. You can actually move it up higher, but I don't want to risk taking the tops off here. I love how this thing looks, and you can see some additional detail. Now the actual tiles line up properly. They used to be just like, I didn't know what I was doing, so I was extruding based on the size. If I take up the very top, which is a bit more of an involved process than I would have liked. One of the improvements we made is these masts. They used to be completely integrated with the base plate, and so now you just connect them in like this. Even these parts slot in because they were snapping off like crazy. And there we go. And then there's also room for expansion with all of these tiny little clips. And if we look straight down into the ship, you can now see the top level of the bridge. That lifts off. It does require a little bit of finagling, but that's to be expected. Then you can see the bridge itself, which has got some great detail. We've got one of our miniatures there from the original Kickstarter in place. So it feels much more like busy, this bridge. There's like actually like screens on the walls, and all of these print without supports. And even just like modern printers versus old ones. Let's see, Kimiko fell down the ladder well there. She's actually in there, which is ironic because in some of the renders I had sorry, this hasn't been cleaned up yet, I realize. In some of the renders I had her actually on the float, like in 0G. So that the miniature poses that we have, we tend to do heroic characters, so it is the same character with 5 different poses, and then 7 unique characters. So the poses are sort of like idle, which is a standing pose. You have action, where they've got some kind of weapon. We have 0G, we have seated, and now we have lying down / resting. So I really love this thing and how it looks. I have to admit, I do play with them sometimes. I guess I could technically call it testing, right? But yeah, that's probably not how my wife would see it. So yeah, there is a lot more detail in here. The bridge of this ship is actually halfway down, and I'm sorry this version doesn't have all of the tiles in it. I think it's here somewhere. So you can kind of see it's a multi-story. Maybe I can just do this instead. Something like this. Whoops, I grabbed too much from up here. So it's kind of like a double story affair here. I haven't grabbed all of the files here, unfortunately. And like I said, I've got about 7 or 8 different scenes, and I think I got the wrong one open at the moment. So let's see. Let's see what John Esther says. Oh, right. So, the beautiful thing about this is that it's been a fun project to work on. And when you work so intensely as I have lately, it's actually been very draining, but you have ups and downs with like the creative flow, and it often gets to the point where you get to a point in the middle of the creation and you're just frustrated. But talking to you guys and interacting with our Discord, by the way, I think there's links down below, and if you are a new visitor, why not like and subscribe to the channel so you can see our progress updates as we put them out. My favorite ship initially was a Nidhogg, but now I think it's the Ratatosk. I made this cool little variant engine. It was difficult to figure out. I don't think I've got the... I haven't got the actual drive in there at the moment. But you can see it's a very odd shape. And these are the Gridforge tile holders, like the frames. And we have 7 different sizes, depending on how tight a fit you want the tiles to be. And yeah, this was our last frontier, and it was a really good campaign. But it's offset. And don't worry, I will have a stretch goal, which will make it possible to combine the different engine types on each kind of ship. Of course, if you want longer ships, that's entirely possible. And I think we will have some options. Especially Nidhogg actually has... Ratatosk has this little... I call it a pouch. But really it's sort of like just this little extension that it can have on its belly. Now, this isn't really fully in place, but it drastically changes the profile. And I think we might even do a version of this where it's like a landing ship. I'm not sure. This is going to be a little bit inspirational to see what happens. Let's see. So what are people saying? Backakit link for live stream is not working now. Says it starts at 9:30. What? And it started playing for you. Wow, this is all very confusing. Backakit. Oh, the live stream, you mean? Okay. Which is weird. That's so weird. Like, I think when I changed the stream time, maybe it messed things up, because I was getting told that the campaign was meant to start like an hour later than it was supposed to. I went in and foolishly changed it to an hour earlier than what it said, and it went live accidentally. So now it's all buggered up, and that's my fault, but it's also my fault for listening to you guys. So in architecture, we would call that a partial deck or story above the cargo bay mezzanine, as long as it's less than half the area of the story below. Yes, I guess it is. Yeah, the Valkyria as well is just made as like an entry ship. We deliberately made it dirt cheap for STLs. Well, I consider it dirt cheap considering it's a 5-story ship. Now this version is not the final version. Maybe I will actually load that up now that we've kind of looked at this scene enough, and let's just hope that Maya doesn't crash. So I'm going to tempt fate by saving the scene, and then we shall attempt to load another Maya scene. Yes, testing. Yeah, this is all new for me. I've never done a backup kit before, but I think the stream issue is based on... That's probably why there's not so many people in here, actually. I mean, we normally have this many people, but you would think there would be extra people. So I guess I'll stay on for another, 20 or 30 minutes. And then we'll see how things go. I will be online later on in the night. I have to go home eventually. Let's see. And eat some dinner and that. And, of course, Dropbox. Are you cooperating? Let's see. I think I did a recent export of... Oh, here are the sensors. So I was talking about these earlier. Provided this does not crash. Did it crash? Right. So, one of the cool things about the shuttle is it has these sort of open lock clip compatible sensor struts and that. All of these have been very delicate on our ships because you've had to print them out vertically. Instead, all of these print flat in place, meaning that you get... when you're working with FDM printers, they are very strong in the X and Y directions, but in the Z direction, they're quite weak. Think of it kind of like as in when you're looking at the X and Y, so like a flat piece of paper. It's like a drawing, but everything on there is strong in those directions. Then upwards, it's almost pixelated. So you're going layer by layer. And when you've got really thin objects like these struts and antennae and dishes and that sort of thing, they don't work out that well. So the sensor dish that's on the Valkyria, it's still not in this version. This is one of the stretch goals and the early stretch goals, I think, that we might unlock tonight if there is a good showing, as there usually is. Does the small shuttle have a defense weapon point? This is actually one of our early stretch goals. Albin worked on it earlier. It's not like a full PDC emplacement, but it is like basically get what's on the mount and get it fixed. And it will still rotate. But yes, that's coming up soon as I think one of the first stretch goals, if not the second. And it's funding based. We're still figuring out Backer Kit. We'll see how it goes. I expect we'll know how things are moving a little bit better tomorrow. So I love all of these because they're so easy to make and iterate on. And you can see here, we've just got like a little supported clip. I started making some supported clip versions as well. And we just need to add some additional parts. But these will be compatible with all of our ships, really. So, for example, if you wanted to have struts instead of the RCS system that we have currently, you could do that. And maybe we'll make more expansion ports as well. So like, for example, you could have it further out from the ship. Those are entirely possible, but it lets us make things that are quite strong compared to in other directions. And the only thing I hate about this is that I didn't think of it sooner. Anti-personnel hardpoint. So let's see. I think I had a Valkyrie. How messy is your scene? Alright, I think I did a temp version here somewhere, but I'm not sure which folder it's in. Valkyria pre-launch 2, there we go, reference. This is one I made earlier. Sound like Martha Stewart. So we have this, well, that's a bit dark. This is the Valkyria exterior version. It's a little bit easier to see now. So we have these struts in action. The truss here I really love. It's got a special angled part. You can kind of see here from all this framing that this is the flat side of the part. And even these sort of like cylindrical things, you can see they've got a flat bottom here. And that's all about, printability. And yeah, I think it really... And then this sensor is... I guess it's combined at the moment. But this object is actually just a little additional piece that you slot into the side there. And that really creates a really interesting piece compared to, a simple dish like the one we have on the top there, which I think originally first was seen... It's a variant of the version that was on Typhon. Deep Rock Drop Pod vibes. even as a pickup for Molly.
Hmm.
I
haven't played it.
No, I haven't played that one. Is that the Space Dwarves?
Yeah.
And I even love this little thing here. And again, like these just use open lock clips to connect. So technically, you could put them in anywhere that's compatible with an open lock clip. So for example, if you pull this off and decide, no, this uses a different form of propulsion, we don't need reaction control systems on this ship, you could technically just like attach this thing. I need the correct pivot point first. So let's just grab one of these corners. And you could just, connect it to the open lock port here. And I think we just rotate this a little bit. And there you go. You've got a nice little, I guess, radome, or I'm not sure what you'd call it. Just Nernies and Greebles, or Greeblies. And I love making these things. They're really fast and quick. It's kind of like I said to Albin, I said, make me something that looks like the shield generator of a Star Destroyer and make it from one of the geometric forms that are already in Maya. And it's stupid, but I'm guessing this didn't take you that long to make, right?
No, it took like less than 20 minutes.
Exactly. But it looks fantastic. Now, when he says 20 minutes, he's ripped a bunch of different things off. Like, we literally are at the point with 15,000 STL files that we can kit bash our own stuff. And that's what we're doing. And obviously, for a long time, I was like, oh, but you guys already have that. But no, you need to be an expert in Maya or another CAD program to actually rip these apart. And we have a wonderful community that make custom parts. But obviously, it's a lot easier for us in Maya to get together. And also, we can think about print orientations a little bit better. So,
I mean, it's like an iterative work where you improve as well.
Yeah, for sure. But for example, I can show you one of these. Let me change the project to resources. We can go File, Open Scene, and let's go through. I want my turret and turret port compatible scene. We're soon going to integrate all weapon systems into this project file. Did I save that as it is? Let me just turn off the lighting here so we can see this a bit more clearly. We'll get rid of the camera safe version. So these are a few of the turret variants that we have for some of our earlier stretch goals. And when I say turret, I mean PDC variants. I really like this, the big drum version. Of course, if you back within the first 48 hours, you get this bad boy. I think this is animated. So this is my Space Whiz, right? It's based on the Sea Whiz, famously a naval weapon. And it's got its own special housing. And we also have a regular turret version of that as well, down here. Sorry, did I turn off my details? So this is one of our sort of reference files where we've got all the turrets we've made so far. I think maybe one or two are missing. And we're going to put in all our missiles, all our guns, all our torpedoes, all of that sort of ordnance all in one scene. So when we create something new, we can add what we have previously had. Like, for example, you can see some of these are the Traveller style turrets from before we started working with Mongoose. We've got tribes releases that we've done from different vehicles. We have our original turrets, and this sort of unknown and new area is like a work area, I guess. We've got the Beta and Delta variants here. And these are some really old turrets. And then we have a bunch of different variations, and I wanted to show some of the awesome changes. I asked John to, because he's great with mechanics, to look over the turret system, because of all the issues where we had it being a little bit too loose. So this is one of the original turrets. It's unmodified. I can just get this animated. So we had some issues with printability. Like these crossbars are on a different level. Let me just get you some more contrast here. So this would print flat and print in place, and I was thinking maybe we need to make a version that isn't print in place, but John said no, this is great, let's just improve it a little bit. So this is not a great crossbar, because when you try and bridge this, you're just going to end up with droopage and a failure because it's all flat. And so I started iterating on that, and you can kind of see the progress. So this is the original one again. This is my next version, and you can see that these bars cross. I still felt they were quite droopy. And the other thing too is the originals had like this peg sticking out, which was integrated into the bottom. Now these are separate, they print flat, they're much more durable, they don't snap off. And this is another variation where it's just a mechanical arm using the peg system. And this is the final version where I made it like 2 cross sections there. There's way less droopage, it's all pre-supported, and it fits more snugly into this track. And John too added these sort of like, I guess, gears to the track. So now travel from one side to the other, it actually grips it very well, almost too well, I would say. So those are some exciting advancements. And you can see here my sort of ball force AA gun style weaponry there, and a couple of different turret base variants. And of course you can mix and match these weapon systems as you like. They just slot in. All of our clips are a lot better about slotting in now. The mechanics are sound. John is great. Ben 2025, yeah. Well said, John of John Games. So yeah, what a poop show this has been. Let's see, I've got to wind bag on another 20 minutes or so and see if it goes live at the right time for people. Otherwise they'll have to watch non-live, I guess. A little bit of wine. No, it's just cola.
Nice.
Yeah, I don't even have a beer at home, and System Beloved is about to close. But I really feel a sense of pride looking back on all of this work and our ships. We have a massive track record of, I think we've got something like 14 crowdfunding campaigns under our belt. We've delivered every single one, aside from the physical stuff from the Fifth Frontier War, and I think there's 3 miniatures left as well, which are contracted out to sculptors. So we're not ignoring our existing work. It's like we can't work on them. We have artists that are doing that. So there has been a little bit of a delay, but when it comes to the vehicles and all of that, we've delivered everything in good time. And I feel confident we'll be able to do the same now, although there was no way to put in delivery times for this thing. So if anyone's wondering when deliveries will take place, I would say the STL files will be available once the funds clear, which is usually, from what I understand, BackerKit works the same way as Kickstarter, where you're not actually paying until the campaign is over and it's successfully funded. And then there's about a 2-week period of bank clearing. And on top of that, we get, we just get some, we've got to convert that over and put it on my mini factory. So a part of it's going to be learning this platform, but I do trust it. I have been using it for years on the back end. There have been many successful campaigns. That Expanse campaign people were talking about was on BackerKit as well, and made an amazing something like $380,000. Of course, we're just a small guy doing STL files of complete ships. So yeah, BackerKit is ready to go in 7 minutes, says John, not realizing it launched almost an hour ago. So, or BackerKit have sent an email or something like that? I don't know. Is that what you mean? Because I have my email turned off at the moment. Sorry, John. Maybe that's what you mean instead. Let me know in the chat. The live stream. This live stream? This is the live stream, guys. It was working until I stuffed it up. The live stream claims 5 minutes. But I did get an email about the live stream this morning. Okay, no idea what's going on, guys. I'm sorry. Maybe we left it too late. Maybe it was a little too close to the time. I think I put the live stream up at about 1:30, which is about 4 hours ago. 5 hours ago. Yeah. But, you know, we're already a tenth of the way to funding, with apparently no one really knowing what's going on. I assume too when it goes live, that's when they send out mails and that sort of thing. We've got a backer train going, whatever that means, which is it's exciting. Maybe I should see what we've got here, because I haven't really looked at the page from your perspective. Hoping there's not too much here. I love the way the ships look together. And we've made some pretty cool graphics lately. Maya crashed again, didn't it? No, it was the other version. I'm still going to close it because I might want Photoshop open soon. And I dare not run them both at the same time. And in fact, it is always a risk. Oh, that's weird. Now it's showing the regular Photoshop. Earlier it was showing the version from like 1990 something. Let's see. Recent images. We want the collector. Because I made another special graphic. It may seem insane, and we'll get back to this in just a sec. So we've got 5 ships, whereof 3 are completely new ships, 2 are complete refits. And when I say complete refits, there's nary a part we haven't touched and redone. Some of the improvements will be added to people that are existing customers. For example, we've improved the printability of the engine plates. That was too thin. The improved, mechanics for the PDCs and all of that sort of thing. We'll be giving that out to everyone. But the interior changes are just for the refits in particular. Like the grid forge conversions and that sort of thing. A lot of work went into it. I think I've spent a good 4 weeks just on the Sleipnir and the Fenrir. And there is more work to be done. But the ships themselves, I made these cool little turntables. I don't know if I play these, will the music play? I don't think so. I don't think my system sound is on. So yeah, you can check these out for yourselves. They're just turntables, repeated. Get a better idea of how the ship looks from different angles. We haven't done this before because we usually don't have the time. And as you saw in a number of different pictures, we have got a physical printout of the exterior of all ships at this point in time. Some of the interiors are yet to be printed out. I actually was working on the engineering section of Fenrir this morning. But you can scroll down and see all the different ships. We'll probably add additional graphics. And let us know if there's like information here you're missing. Because, yeah, I'm not sure what we've missed at this stage. There's not a ton of information. This is John's printout of the ship. That is not a render. That is actually what it looks like. It's quite incredible. The quality of his work is such that some of the parts, even though they're FDM, look like resin. Very impressive. So yeah, we probably have a little bit more information to get in here. By the way, we do not ship to Belarus or Russia at this point in time. Otherwise, we ship to the rest of the world with those. And I think it's about $160 for this 1.2 kilos of ship. Alright, so that is that. Then we've got the pledge levels. So if you go all in, hang on a second, I'm hearing stuff in my headphones.
Oh, is it Discord?
I don't know what it is. I just turned the sound off so I won't hear it. It's just distracting me. It's not turning up in stream, I don't think.
Oh.
Anyway, let me know if it is, and I'll change that. If you have back the physical version, are you not able to add the crew option only as a second physical? The crew are not physical. We've not arranged to do the crew physical at all at this point in time. I haven't discussed it with John. There is a possibility of opening it up, but really, this is kind of like already a little bit. I don't want to tread on the Expanse toes a little bit. Even though these aren't official Expanse ships, you could easily use them with your Expanse miniatures if you wanted to. And I kind of don't want to do a physical run to like compete with them. So if you want to print it for yourself or get it printed, you can. And you could probably actually talk to John about that if you wanted. He does do custom jobs. However, as a part of the campaign, no, the intention is just to have them as STLs at this point in time. So. I haven't spoken to them or anything like that, but it is, one of those things where I just don't want to be a jerk.
Speaking of crew, I sent a picture of the renders that I've been working on.
Oh, okay. Let's see.
A link to it, I couldn't upload.
Oh, great, a link.
Sorry.
Where is it? Okay, so let's look at what he was saying. My system really needs a reset, so maybe this will not work well, but... Let's double click this and hope something happens. It's not looking great.
I'm sorry.
And everything's crashed. Oh no, it is. It ended up being on the wrong screen. So yeah, these are all the miniatures. Did you end up finding the last one?
Yeah, I think so.
All right. So yeah, these are all the miniatures included in the pack. The new ones are these lying down ones. These actually came out pretty nice. Good job, man.
Thank you.
So, yeah, 35 in all at this point in time. I'd like to do some new ones. We might do it throughout the campaign, but at this point in time, this is what we got going for us. So we might have additional miniatures as well. So if we did physical, that's another point where we'd need to figure out, then we can't add extras as stretch goals or that sort of thing. So we need to be careful with that. So if you just want the new ships, all the new ships is here. It's about $90 for 3 massive ships. If you want them individually, you can get them. And as I said, the Valkyria shuttle is only about $24. So if you're just looking for a starter project, that's a great way to support us. Of course, I think you can just support us if you only want to buy us a coffee or a beer or something like that. Albin is keen for that. And then the collector, it's an insane pledge. Usually there's only 1 or 2 takers, but it's every STL file we've ever made. It will include Traveler. And this is the graphic I wanted to show off. So this is only about...
Man, I like those renders.
Yeah. I don't know how many ships this is of our complete collection, but there's no Traveler ships here. These are just variants of our own designs, all to scale. And then you've got all of these sort of smaller vessels, fighters and things. A lot of these premiered in on Tribes, which is our Patreon. We've got the old original Sleipnir here. Compared to the other ones, it's a crappy render in comparison, but I did want to include it. Visually, it's kind of hard to tell. Many of the improvements are quite subtle, and printability improvements, but the outside has changed as well, believe it or not. I'm really happy with the way it's progressed. So you've got all the new ships here compared to the old ones. I have taken out the ships that don't exist physically, so these are just the physical ships. All our Chimera variants. And then, of course, we've got a whole bunch of Traveler ships. Oh, I needed to move that down, didn't I? Oh, it looks like well, not only that, but I think the labeling's wrong. That's not a hammerhead. Anyway, I will address that at a later point. That's the hammerhead variant there. Let's see. I need to get back to my chat. Chat is going. All right. Just asked in the community still, will us with all the new ships pledge get everything that's new? Yes. Well, no. Sorry. You will not, because as you might have missed, the Sleipnir refit is a complete new refit. So what we might have when the Traveller Frontier was released back in April of 2022. Talk to, like, mate, when you've dropped that much on us, just get in touch, and if there's something you're missing, I'm sure we can get you a deal or something like that. But yeah, the new ships is just the 3 original ships here. The Sleipnir and the Fenrir are based on the original versions, but I kind of liken to, I don't know how many of you guys are maybe Star Trek fans, but for example, I would say the difference is like the difference between the 1701 and the 1701A. So it is a full refit. It looks externally very similar, but the interior is different. Completely grid forge compatible. All of the walls have been taken in. If you restart the stream at some point, I did go over that earlier, if you're interested. Although right now we have no idea what's going on. And of course, in the community section, I guess there's tons of discussions you guys can get involved in. The stream, I guess, is going on right now. If you have any questions. So, for example, here, Gurgis has asked, is the only physical print available going to be Valkyria? Did I miss out on the bigger ships already? No, you have not. The idea is we're just having a Valkyria, and then later on, there is a chance you'll be able to upgrade that to a larger version of the ship, or buy additional ones when you actually get to the point of sending them. The thing is, right now, our campaign is in Swedish crowns. Our printer is in the US. We don't know what the deal is with tariffs. We don't want to have too much up ahead that in 6 months it's like, oh, yeah, by the way, these ships are going to cost twice as much to ship to Canada, which is now the 51st state of the US. No. It just, things are volatile at the moment as far as the markets are concerned.
I think I just lost one viewer when you said that.
It's just a practical fact. Of course, I'm joking, although you never know what's going to happen. And that's the point. We just don't want to make too many commitments right now. We'd love to make those available in the future. What we don't want to do is promise something now and then get screwed over by tariffs or, the bum falling out of the Swedish crown versus the US dollar or vice versa. And when you actually come to the point where you get your deliveries of the physical prints, or rather when John reaches out to you to confirm your order, like the time where you would pay for shipping, then you'll be able to make additional purchases or upgrade that ship to a larger one or buy additional ones. We know that the pricing will vary from the Valkyria is like about $160. Nidhogg, for example, would be about $400. There is a considerable difference in size. I haven't weighed Nidhogg yet because it doesn't have the interior, but I'd say we're approaching I'd say it'll be 6+ kilos when it's finished, which is 6 rolls of FDM print. A Troyska Ben video. John already commented. I didn't read the responses. So this is going to be a learning experience for us. I'm so sorry, guys. It's been a bit muddled. All from the accidentally launching too soon to, hopefully if there's something you need clarified, we can get it sorted out. I'm hoping John can hop in a little bit now. When we wrap up the stream. Actually, we're going to wrap up the stream, I think, in just 5 minutes, so I can get home in time to give my dog a walk. And we believe it or not, we've actually been streaming for 1 hour and 10 minutes at this point. Just people were reporting the wrong times, so I accidentally launched too soon. It is what it is. And hopefully you guys will see some improvement moving forward with backer kit. So, yeah, Nidhogg is closer to $400, exactly. So, I think that covers it for the most part. Maybe John's written that up in the FAQ. There we go. Check it out if you have any questions. If you do want additional things clarified, get involved and get involved with the community thing here. Like, let's get some discussions going. Which ship are you excited about the most? Do you want to see more streams? Do you want to see more behind the scenes? Is there a particular stretch goal you would love to see? We're talking about revisiting, for example. We have a version of Sleipnir from back in the day. Maybe I can actually get back into that folder. Let's see. Nah, getting too complicated now, guys. I'm too tired to think clearly. So I think, how about your next about upgrading from the shuttle to the next size patrol ship? What? I mean, I think we just talked about all of that. Upgrading. How do you mean, Grana Priejo? Do you mean the physical? Or do you mean yeah, anyway. Let's get some clarification on that one. I'd love to have the collector poster in high res. Yeah, I've heard it might have been you requesting that on our Discord, I don't know, but yeah, it would be really cool. I'm not finished with it. Like, some of these graphics are from the olden days, and you can kind of see, like, this has been downscaled, but I'm going to show you a bit behind the scenes here. But see how noisy this is? Like, all of that, the sort of bruise, the noise. It's like a film grain, right? There's way too much of it. That's an indication of, like, shitty renders from back in the day, and I'd like to get it all, you know, in proper shaders in Maya if I was going to do a poster. You can kind of see how much better the Aesir Fleet ships look in comparison to those other ones. So yeah, it requires a little bit of uniformity. You were talking about the physical, the approximate price, right? Okay, you're asking John about the price hikes. Yeah, I'll let John answer that. But obviously it traps up. So the Ratatosk is considerably heavier. So we'll see how things go pricing wise and that. Yeah, just and of course for the physical prints, if you order those, we'll also make sure you get the STL files. So if a part breaks or you get a 3D printer in the future, you've got options. Of course, if it breaks in transport, I believe that's covered as just part of our customer service, or John's customer service rather. Oh man, I'm losing my voice. This is kind of crazy. I want to double check there was nothing else here. So I would just like to thank all of you guys for joining in. And yeah, it would be wonderful to see this campaign get funded. We've worked really hard on it. We're going to be doing even more work. There's going to be a ton of stretch goals hopefully unlocked. Yeah. See you guys again soon. I guess I should probably not say that until I'm actually ready to physically end the stream, but thank you guys for being with us. We appreciate it.
Bye bye.
Bye.